Hey y'all, Azim here with more histology. We are looking at compact bone. This slide says ground bone from a human. I'm not actually sure why it says ground, but this is a cross-section of bone from the compact part because the cells are more compact than with the trabecular spongy bone. Anyways, let's take a closer look. So here is just a piece of the bone. We're going to go to 100x, look a little closer. What you'll already notice is that there are some circular arrangements here. You've got dark centers and then concentric circles surrounding them. A single unit, so starting from here, let's say, all the way over here, that whole circular unit is known as an osteon. We're looking at this in cross-section. If you can imagine this in longitudinal section, it would look like a column. So you've got a bunch of columns within your compact bone, osteons, that help with supporting all that weight that our body needs to support. The centers of each osteon, that's known as the central canal. And the central canal houses blood vessels and nerves. Our bone is living tissue, and it needs a way to deliver nutrients, get rid of waste, and also sense things with our nervous system. So, which is why if you break a bone, you feel a lot of pain. All those concentric circles, those are called lamellae. The word lamella means layer. We've talked about lamellated corpuscles, or in other words, Pacinian corpuscles. They look very similar. They have a bunch of concentric circles. So also here, these are lamellae of bone. And lamellae of bone are made up of cells and extracellular matrix. Let's take a closer look at the extracellular matrix within one osteon. Let's choose this one. Going to 400x total. All right, here again is the central canal. Let me go to a darker one. Here again is the central canal, and you can see the lamellae extending out. So there's lots of lamellae, lots of layers of concentric circles, and lots of osteons that border each other. The cells are what are darker here. So that cell that I'm pointing at, that's an osteocyte. Osteocyte. Osteocytes are within spaces, just like what we saw with cartilage, though, and you can kind of see it here, there's a little bit of white space surrounding it. Osteocytes sit within lacunae. I'm just going to try to go to 1000x, see if this works without oil. Not well, never mind. But what I want to show you are really, really tiny. I guess you can see it here. Great. Really, really tiny lines extending from those osteocytes. Those black lines make it look like a spider. Those little black lines are called canaliculi, in other words, little canals. Those canaliculi allow blood to reach these cells. The extracellular matrix, all this white stuff, that's calcified matrix, calcium phosphate. You can't easily get fluids passing through. So those little canaliculi allow stuff to pass in between from cells and reaching eventually to that central canal at the center of each osteon. Again, the extracellular matrix primarily is calcium phosphate, which is hard mineralized matrix, but you also have something organic, something made of carbon-based molecules. You have collagen also within that extracellular matrix. You can't see the individual fibers like you can in some connective tissues, but there is collagen in that extracellular matrix. You have central canals that are running up and down the length of the bone, but there's also perforating canals. And I don't know that we have a perfect example of this here, but this is the best I can do because you have to get just the right cut. You can imagine central canals go up and down the bone, perforating canals go side to side through the bone. And so this is kind of showing probably like a small cut of a perforating canal. On the very outside of the bone, I'm going to go back in actually. I'm at 400x. You can see that the bone's arranged a bit different. It's a bit more long than circular. This is the periosteum. And there's actually several layers to the periosteum. There's a periosteum here, which has osteoblasts, osteoblast-build bone. But then there's another layer on the very, very outside of bone. That's the periosteum that is basically a bone sheath, which is dense, regular connective tissue.